Hello everyone, it's Captain Sensible back again with another mini review before Mr. Smelly's video. Today we're going to be having a look at Eau de Rochas Homme by Calvin Klein. Now this one was released in 1985, the perfumer is Terry Venables. The notes are bergamot, lemon verbena, labdanum and pork knuckle. Now my wife quite likes this one and I quite enjoy it too. And she enjoyed it the other night when we had a night out together. However, to be honest, my week other than that hasn't been that great. I went to see the doctor the other day and I said I've been suffering from memory loss. He said, when did it start? I said, I can't remember. He said, well, can you give me a rough idea? I said, I think it started around the time of my wife's birthday. He said, right, what's the date of that? I said, I've forgotten. He said, right, take these pills twice a day. I said, what if I forget? The doctor said, take one when you remember, but if it's nearly time for your next dose, then don't take a double dose. And I said, a double dose of what? He said, these pills. I said, what pills? He said, the ones I'm giving you for your memory loss. You've lost your memory. I said, I know I have. That's why I'm here. What are you going to do about it? Anyway, what was I saying? I've forgotten. Oh, yeah. Right, over to Mr. Smelly and back to the rest of his video.
Hello everyone, welcome back to all of you in the Smelly Army. So, are Fougere fragrances about to come back into fashion? I'm asking this question because Tom Ford has recently released two new Fougeres, Fougere d'Argent and Fougere Platine, and in their typical cheeky fashion, Dua fragrances have already released their inspired expression of each one. Legendary is their take on Fougere Platine, and Chivalry is their inspired expression of Fougere d'Argent. Fougere Platine is the hardest one to find. It's an exclusive in the UK at the moment in Harrods, and I believe in the USA, similarly, just one of the big stores has it. Fougere d'Argent, on the other hand, has a wider release already. Prices for these then, the Tom Ford ones for 50ml is £162 in the UK or $235 in the USA. The Dua fragrances here for a 30ml, you're looking at $65, or that translates in UK money to around about £50. So unfortunately I don't have a sample of Fougere Platine, it's a little bit hard to come by, but what I do have is Dua's take on it, Legendary. So the notes in this one, bergamot, clary sage, armoise oil, cedarwood, olibanum and tobacco leaf. Olibanum actually is another word for incense. This is very much the more green, verdant and mossy, piney smelling of the two to me. Very much a foresty smell with this one. Very, very strong and bright. I sprayed it on a paper strip a few moments ago, went out of the room to do something else, came back in, and the room really smelled green and leafy and foresty. There's nice kind of herbal elements, there's clary sage in there, but overall what you get is a combination of a very grassy, green, piney kind of smell, a nice bergamot freshness actually, which did remind me strangely a little bit of Dior Sauvage. So it does have that sort of burst of likability and a masculine freshness in the opening, but then definitely goes in a very different kind of direction with a really green, mossy, piney, forest-like smell. I would say it leans very much masculine in my opinion, and definitely has a slightly old school feel. It reminds me in some ways a little bit, perhaps because of the inclusion of the tobacco leaf note, of Ralph Lauren's Polo Green, but it's a little bit more on the fresh and crisp side. That one gets a little bit more heavy and dense and slightly more old fashioned smelling. I really, really like this one and it's right up my street. I think that's why Dua probably decided to send me these two to review, because I like Fougeres. Everyone who knows my channel knows I like that kind of thing. So this one, if you're looking for a really green, bright, mossy, slightly daring Fougere, it's really for fragrance enthusiasts and people who really enjoy the style. I found Legendary to be really nice. Been wearing it quite a few days to work this week, and it has really quite strong projection and longevity is very, very good. I wouldn't say quite beast mode, but certainly very strong in performance. So I think this one of course gives you a chance to own something that's really hard to find in the shops, hard to try out actually. Unfortunately, the real thing, but I'm sure some of you may have tried it. And of course the price is much, much cheaper. So I think it represents great value for fans of this genre, this style of fragrance, and I've been really impressed with this one, really enjoying it. Compared to, for example, Invasion of the Barbers, that's a much more powdery, sweet Fougere style. This is much more green and a very traditional Fougere type fragrance, but with something rather different and unique about it too. So Legendary, I've really enjoyed that one. Let's move on then to the other one. So the other fragrance from Dua that we've got today is called Chivalry. Nice packaging there. Of course, chivalry sort of means decorum and a way of behaving that is correct and proper for a gentleman. So kind of maybe an appropriate name for a Fougere type fragrance. So this is their take on Fougere d'Argent. Fougere Platine, by the way, means platinum Fougere, and Fougere d'Argent means silver Fougere. So let's see what we think of the silver one. Well, I think this one is the more easy to enjoy and the more easily likable one for most people of the two smells. Now, I do have a sample of the original Fougere d'Argent, which Dua Fragrances actually sent me along with their version, and I have tried that one in stores as well because it's more widely available. This one is classified actually as an Oriental Fougere, which implies a little bit more sweetness is going to be in there, probably less of the really green mossy element, and indeed that's what you get. Notes on this one: mandarin, ginger, lavender, cistus, akigala wood and coumarin, otherwise known as tonka. So it's got that classic combination, this one, of tonka bean and lavender, and I really enjoy this one. It's probably, I think I perhaps narrowly prefer it, or would wear it more easily more often. It's got a reminiscence of Fougere Royale by Hubigant. It's got that kind of complex masculine depth to it, a certain spiciness and almost a little bit of sweetness, but there's a dry powderiness that goes along with that, and it's really very classy, and I really like the way that it develops on skin. Now, when I say it, I'm talking about both fragrances because, as usual, Dua have come very close to the original in the smell. In the opening, as usual, I find something not quite the same in the Dua for the first maybe 5 or 10 minutes, but after that I find it very hard to tell them apart. So a really smooth, this is the Dua, the Dua ones on here and the original Tom Ford here. Definitely a really nice lavender note. Tonka is quite heavy in this one. A little bit of a really great all-round safe scent that you can wear in any occasion, but it also smells classy. It's got a tiny bit of a retro vibe, but less so perhaps than the other one, the Fougere Platine or the Legendary, because this one has a little bit more sweetness, a little bit more emphasis on the tonka and lavender, and almost kind of warming, comforting quality about the smell. So Chivalry, for many people, I think will be the more easy to like, the one that will please the average person more, although I really enjoy the sort of sparkling green mossiness of Legendary. But Chivalry, I think, sits right alongside, actually very close to, Invasion of the Barbers, Dua's take on Invasion Barbar by MDCI Parfums, but with less sweetness, a little bit more traditional Fougere smell. So maybe if you mix Hubigant Fougere Royale with Invasion Barbar, you get something like Fougere d'Argent. It's in that kind of ballpark, and Chivalry does a brilliant job of mimicking it. Has really nice longevity, quite good sillage, but more polite, I think, than Legendary, not so in your face. So it makes a really good daytime work scent and really classy smell. And of course the price on this one for the Dua version, Chivalry, much better than the Tom Ford one, which is rather expensive at £162 for 50ml. I'd be happier, I think, to spend my £50 on 30ml and have a more varied collection. But of course, many people don't enjoy the idea of clones. If you want the real thing, you might want to spend the extra amount. And the Tom Ford one is really classy. They come in lovely presentations, and it's a great all-round scent that you could wear for work, for nights out, all occasions, pretty much all seasons. In the summer, you might want something a little bit more transparent and fresh. Likewise then, Chivalry, super classy, does kind of tie in with that name of chivalry. If you are a chivalrous gentleman, I think this one would work well, and I'm going to be enjoying wearing this one, maybe kind of being in a similar kind of mood to the mood that I would be in to wear Invasion of the Barbers, my other favourite barbershop one from Dua Fragrances. But this has a little bit of its own different personality, although that personality is that of the Tom Ford original. But I really enjoy wearing this one and the Tom Ford one. For me, I'm lucky enough to have this. I won't be rushing out to buy the Tom Ford one. Do try Tom Ford's Fougere d'Argent in the shops if you can. I think it's a really good release, and it's nice to see Fougere's back on the map. So let me know in the comments below what you think about any of the fragrances in this video, and what do you think about the comeback of Fougere's? Are we going to see some more of these from the niche houses? Are we going to see designer fragrance companies going back to putting out Fougere's? That would be fun, wouldn't it? Feel free to discuss all of this in the comments below. As ever, thank you very much for watching. Whatever you're doing in life, let's project.
SMELLY.